Well, hello everyone. It's Angela with Mystic Moon bringing you guys another reading. So today's topic is star-crossed lovers, frozen in time. Why did it have to end? So this star-crossed lover syndrome is usually two people that, came together, had a powerful connection, but for whatever reason, they were torn apart. And it could just be external circumstances. It could be somebody not being ready for the connection, etc. So that's what we're focusing on here today. So if that sounds like your sort of story, go ahead and see if the messages that we do in the beginning resonate for your situation. And like I always say, just take what does and leave what doesn't. All the decks I'll be using here today will be listed in the description box down below, as well as this beautiful Orgonite here. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look and go. Actually, we're going to get a snapshot of the highs and lows of your past love story with this person. So let's go ahead and take a look. What are the past highs and lows of your love story with this person? Let's look at this. Okay. So this right here to me is a low. It says, first of all, the word says beauty. I am invisible to you. I blend into the darkness of the night sky. No matter what I do to share my light with you, you choose to dim it by pushing me away, ignoring me, never giving me the time of day. You're too busy mingling with the so-called beautiful ones. If you only knew the beauty within me that you are failing to recognize, if only. Wow. So that could really strike a chord for someone out there. This might be that you ended up feeling like you were not good enough for your person, and it could also be that your person felt like they weren't good enough for you. But there was definitely some sort of a pushing away, choosing to dim this light, choosing instead of turning towards the light of this connection, turning away from it and going down a path that was darker. All right. So that could be some situation that you guys personally went through with this person. So this is definitely a low of your past love story. Let's get a tarot card to go with this. We have the Page of Pentacles. Yes, the Page of Pentacles means that there was some sort of an opportunity to grow. There was an opportunity to move forward and to really build something here. But instead of turning, like I said, towards the light, we turn towards the darkness instead. All right, let's go ahead and get another. Five of Cups. I feel like the Five of Cups is a card of the past, meaning somebody was too busy focused on past hurts or past pain. They were, not in a state where they could really feel optimistic about love. So you may have had a really great start with this person, but as time went on, it does seem to me that the Five of Cups, like something from their past was gnawing at them. Some disappointment. It could even just be fear of disappointment. So some fear really took the connection down. So this is a low point. This is a low aspect of the connection. And we have the Six of Wands. So instead of victoriously moving past this, it may be that somebody was just unable to. The darkness just kind of engulfed them. And we also have the word pride. Somebody may have had too much pride in order to let their guard down, in order to let you see the more vulnerable side of themselves. So that was a low point of the connection. Let's go ahead and see what else. Okay, we have anxiety too. So not only do we have this running away, turning towards the darkness, we have anxiety. There was a time when I was open to love and all of its vulnerabilities. I was brave and unafraid, but heartbreak has a way of changing a person, causing us to be closed off, holding ourselves back from finding true love. My anxieties have covered me in a blanket of fear. I'm so cold in this darkness, and I'm not sure I can ever let anyone in again. Wow, you guys. So this to me is the low point here. That's that Five of Cups. This is also the darkness here. Turning to the darkness, covered in this blanket of darkness. So I'm so cold in this darkness, I'm not sure I can ever let anyone in. Now, this, of course, could have been something that also happened and transpired from the disappointment or the heartbreak or the sadness of this connection. This may be what it has left you with, is this feeling of just being cold in the darkness, afraid that you're never going to be able to feel love or happiness again. So let's go ahead and get some tarot with that one. So we definitely have some low points that are coming up immediately in this reading. With a star. Yeah, a lot of things need to be healed here. I feel like what Spirit wants to remind the viewer is that you and this person were actually brought together for healing purposes, but not every single time when we have a soul contract and we connect with that person are people ready to fulfill that soul contract. Sometimes people break the contract. Sometimes people are just not ready to level up in that contract. And so I feel like that's what's happened here. This is definitely a spiritual connection. There's a spiritual ascension lesson at hand when you come together with this person. But I feel like, their darkness, just being trapped in their darkness, it really prevented them from being able to connect with you in a light, high vibrational way. I'm just seeing that they couldn't do it. So that might be what the disruption was in your connection. Yeah, Two of Pentacles, just like back and forth. You guys were definitely here to balance each other out. This person may also have brought up a lot of things within you that needed to heal. So it's interesting. So it's like the star-crossed lovers frozen in time. Why did it have to end? I'm just getting here. It had to end because the two of you guys were just not ready to maybe do the healing together. But the thing is, sometimes an ending is a blessing in disguise if we can see the silver lining in that situation. So it may be through separation, you guys are going to do a lot of work on yourselves. And so it will be because of the connection and the triggering that happened that you guys will balance something out. So do you see how you're still balancing each other out, even though maybe you guys are not seeing each other? Just the memory, just the vibration, just the experience alone is enough to make some sort of permanent shift and change within your soul and your spirit. So, there's definitely something that's happening here regardless of whether you're with this person or not. So that is the silver lining here. Yeah, Four Swords, healing. Absolutely. So definitely to me, it's like Four Swords means that we may have had to pull away from each other. We may have had to go into silence. We may have had to go off by ourselves in order to do this very important healing. So I definitely feel like if you guys are resonating with this so far, you guys have probably experienced a lot of maybe darkness and shadow and things like that, a lot of unpleasant feelings with this particular separation. And I feel like your person was also in a place of darkness and it was really difficult for them to reach the light. It's interesting. There's a song coming through. Oh gosh, who sings that? I'll try to remember. I think it's Flurry, if I'm saying that correctly. And it's straining to reach the surface, something, the light. I can't remember the song, but it's coming to me. Let's see what else. Interesting. Maybe you and I have so many layers to our relationship. The good, trying to see if I can read this. I'm having a hard time. The good, the wonderful, the intimacy, the something, the serious, the uncertainty, the boundaries, the goodbyes, the end. Life has so many layers too. Maybe someday our connection can bloom into something even more beautiful than what we had to begin with. Just maybe. Wow. Maybe there's still a chance. Maybe someday when you're all alone, I forget who sings that song. It's come up many times in my reading. Maybe if you guys know that song that I'm talking about, definitely put it in the comment section down below. But yeah, maybe someday the two of you guys can come back together when you're in a more healed state. So that whole star-crossed lover syndrome is definitely coming through. It just wasn't your time. So why did it have to end? Because you guys weren't ready for this. That's why you guys were not healed enough. So you came together to trigger one another to go into separation, to really do this healing. And maybe someday after you guys peel back all of the layers of yourselves, you can come back together. So to me, that's kind of like, it's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. But I feel like there was more lows in this connection than highs. We have the Eight of Wands here. And I like this because this to me is about movement. Moving forward. If we get hung up on this person or we stop living our lives or we just kind of wallow in the pits, we're actually missing the mark here. We're missing the mark. And that right there is a tragedy. It's a tragedy to yourself. It's a tragedy to those that are around you, that care about you. It's just a tragedy to the world because every person comes into this life with a particular purpose. And it's very difficult for us to really flourish and bloom into our purpose if we're so busy hanging on to something like trauma or just different things that just cause us to give up and just not trust or not continue to move forward in our lives. So we have an opportunity, and we all come here into this planet with free will. We can, of our free will, give up. We can. or we can choose to thrive. We can choose to survive. We can choose to grow, despite the challenges. So we do have an opportunity with this particular soul contract to just keep moving forward in the best way that we possibly can and learn what we can from this person and the situation, everything that it brought up in us, everything that it taught us. I like that. The Emperor. The Emperor is the divine masculine. So if you're the divine feminine watching the video, which the majority of my viewers are, this could be someone that you do consider your counterpart, your divine masculine. What I'm getting here is that this masculine has a lot of growing to do. You probably do as well. No one is fully ascended, or else you wouldn't even be here. You know what I mean? So this to me is just, indicating here that this is an opportunity for us to just kind of allow our masculine to mature. But this also to me is for the feminine, as in this might be a time for you to step more into your masculine side. Maybe it's time for you to take some sort of action in your life or take some sort of responsibility for something. Put yourself out there, empower yourself. This is your time to shine. Maybe this person, your counterpart, brings this out in you. When we have the Ten of Cups. I love the Ten of Cups because to me, it's not really tied to anything specific. It's not tied to a person. It's just the ultimate achievement. This gold medal here. It's the ultimate achievement of experiencing happiness in this life despite its challenges. Being happy with your family and your friends and where you're at right now. Feeling blessed in this moment right now despite what you feel like you don't have. So it's just about, adopting a state of gratitude or grace or just, feeling blessed and really focusing there. So I feel like that's really the point here. It really is the point of this connection so far. So definitely, you've had some more lows than highs, but the high is the silver lining. And if you can get through this and empower yourself and reach this level of happiness in this lifetime, despite what someone else is doing, it's like you've made it. You've absolutely made it. And the thing is, you never know what the universe has in store. It may just be at some point in the end, it could be you and your person. You just never know. But you definitely don't want to sit around and wait for that. So let's now get into their thoughts and feelings about you during this time of separation. So you guys are in separation right now. What is your person's thoughts and feelings towards you? We have White Rabbit. Definitely curious about you. This is interesting. I'm going to read it all. Spark of curiosity, spiritual awakening. It's time, heeding the call, research it, inner knowing, dark to light, interesting, going down the rabbit hole, waking from the dream. Woo! You're part of this person's spiritual awakening. And they may be that for you as well. So to me, the fact that the rabbit is holding that clock, I feel like they realize that they just maybe were not ready for you at the time that the two of you came together. But there is something special and significant about you that has woken something up within them. And we have the rabbit hole, going down the rabbit hole. To me, it's kind of like there's this mystery. There's this mystery about something. And you inspire something within them to do some research, to go deeper within themselves. So to me, the soul contract actually is activated on both ends. It's just that unfortunately it didn't go the way maybe you had wanted it to. There's a separation now. So I think that's beautiful. So they definitely are, their flame is still lit. They're still curious about you. They're still curious and do think about you. And they're still curious about what could possibly be in the future. And I feel like if they were in a dark place, it's like you represent some sort of light. See, frozen with decision. This is interesting because I named this reading Frozen in Time, frozen with indecision. There hasn't been a decision made on this connection either way. So it's unclear, actually. It's unclear as to what's going to happen and what could possibly be, because people have not made any decisions on this. They haven't made a decision to either break this silence or, to resolve this situation or to create contact. So it's still uncertain with what will happen here. But the thing is, your person could be right now in this energy where they're just still trying to figure something out. Maybe they're avoiding, maybe they're an avoidant kind of person. And this could be something that they are struggling, and this is something where they're going down the rabbit hole within themselves trying to find who they are. But the thing is, this is how they see you. You have something to do with how they unveil something within themselves. So you are a part of their awakening process. That's beautiful, and I feel like they are aware of that. Broken vase. Yeah, look at that. This to me is like the Five of Cups. There's disappointment. I'm going to read it. Hardship, misfortune, trial, overcome, crisis, 2 steps back, change of state, grief, fix it, opportunity, pressure, burden, destroy, adversity, accident, disappointments, setback. So you see there's a mixture of emotions there. Being disappointed, but also sabotaging it, destroying this. So that's the thing. There has been something that obviously has happened between the two of you that has not been ideal. That's been a great disappointment. 5 of Cups for me. This person knows it, you know it. And it's an unfortunate set of circumstances, but I feel like your person was frozen with something, frozen with fear, frozen with just not knowing themselves, not ready for this kind of a union. They just weren't ready for it. And it's not to say that you were completely ready for it either. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you felt like you were, but maybe you weren't. It does say here, this is some wanting to change the state and fix this with the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups has come up the last couple of days in the readings that I've done because your person sees you as the Queen of Cups. They see you as somebody who's very lovable, somebody who is very kind, kind-hearted. You may have been very, very compassionate with them and their feelings. This is like a big-hearted energy. So usually when you're dealing with the Queen of Cups, you don't want to make her sad. You don't want to disappoint her, but you usually do because she's very sensitive, because she wears her heart on her sleeve. And so I feel like your person, they still feel you as this Queen of Cups. They have some sort of deep feelings for you. And it does say emotionally connected. So they do feel still emotionally connected to you. And we have a creative idealist. And so this is you, like you had such an idea about what you wanted to have with them. And I just feel, unfortunately, whatever ideas or thoughts that you had about the connection at the time, your person ended up just kind of breaking out of that, I guess, mold. They couldn't fit the mold. So they broke that mold. They couldn't be who you needed them to be. And so that they know that. They know because they weren't ready, because they were stuck, that, it ultimately destroyed things between the two of you. All right, let's see what else. How else are they seeing or feeling towards you? We have sap. Interesting. Resources. Needs, materials, flow, wealth, essence of life, spring, blood, nourishment, sweetness, energy, vitality, grounded roots, abundant physical health, life force. So to me, this right here is that something is needed. Something needs to happen, and they know it. They know something needs to happen with you. They know that it's going to take some sort of an effort for them to maybe make a move or break this state of silence. So they know that something is needed to move it forward. It's not just going to magically happen. Okay, 3 of Swords. Overcoming sorrow, reconciliation, letting go, healing, release, forgiveness, feeling hopeful, and optimistic recovery. Wow. This person feels like towards you, they may feel like they need to apologize to you. They hold some sort of sadness over what's happened. They feel the need to perhaps reconcile with you. So it's definitely here. This person's feelings of wanting to repair the damage that's been done. They just may not know how to go about it. And that's why resources are actually needed at this point. They may not have the resources right now to be able to do this. We have slingshot. Okay, so there's a lot of tension here. We have strain, sudden anxiety. There's that anxiety word again. Pressure, launch, stress, pull, set in motion, focus, begin, force, change, pulled in opposite directions, letting go, ready, aim, fire. This person goes back and forth whether to do something about this or let it go. Do something, let it go. They go back and forth. That's probably why the 2 of Pentacles was here. They go back and forth in their mind. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So they don't have enough maybe courage, strength, or resources or information to be able to, take aim at this and do something different. So it's just kind of easier at this time to choose to do nothing. We have the 8 of Coins, but I like this because this means that they are working on something. They are committed to mastering something within themselves. They're kind of just focusing on themselves. They're dedicated to their craft right now. They're just working. So yeah, if This individual may not like to feel overwhelmed. I mean, who the hell likes to feel overwhelmed with emotions, right? Most people don't really seek that out. So it's not abnormal for somebody to focus on what they can control and things that make them feel better, things that make them feel grounded, which would be work. And so I feel like that's where this person's choosing to focus right now, instead of recovering this, reconciling with you, fixing this. It's in the back of their mind to do it. They do feel that they should do this. But what I'm getting here is that they're just choosing to work instead on themselves and to work on their craft and just kind of dedicate their time to doing that right now. That's kind of where they feel like they're confident, is within something that they do. Not a bad thing, not at all. So the feelings are there, the feelings of sadness, the feelings of regret, the feelings of wanting to reconcile with you, wanting to make things right are there, okay? But like I said, they're just choosing to focus on what they can control right now, which would be work. So let's see, what was the ultimate influence that tore this connection apart? What was the ultimate influence that tore this connection apart? Back off for a while. This is interesting. This is somebody that, once they got too close, once you got too close, it was like they had to back off of this. They couldn't go any further. They felt like they were entering into dangerous territories. It was just something that they just felt like they just couldn't do. Yep, Nine of Swords. Give them a lot. This is interesting. It's very much repeating the same messages that already came through, but in different cards. The Nine of Swords is my anxiety card. The Nine of Swords means we have a lot of fears. We have so much fear that we end up actually making matters worse because of our thoughts, because of what we're projecting onto other people. So I feel like essentially this individual, that's just that's maybe how they cope. That's what they do. Maybe they're not used to people being there for them. They're not used to people being loving towards them, whatever their story might be. There's just a lot of anxiety that this person has. To me, I'm also getting the word nightmare with the Nine of Swords. In a way, it's like dealing with this person is kind of a nightmare. It was a nightmare for you. They know they're a nightmare. They know they're difficult. They know that they do this. And so they're not proud of it. But that they've been doing it maybe for so long, that's just the only way they know how to be. Might also be that they were going through some sort of a crisis, you guys. So what ultimately tore this, or what ultimate influence tore this connection apart? There could have been some sort of a crisis or nightmare that was going on in their life, and they didn't want you to find out. They didn't want you to know how bad something was. They were trying to keep it together. They were trying to just kind of like appear to be strong and, like they had it all under control, but I'm just getting here deep down. They were dying inside. They were losing sleep over something. This could be money matters. This could be maybe some past situation that popped back up. This could be just their own stuff. This could be family crap. I mean, there's just lots of things. Could be a job. Somebody was like losing a job, or things just weren't doing well. They just didn't feel good about where they were at that particular time. So there was something that may have been happening and they didn't tell you about it. Maybe some of you guys, you did know about these stresses, but it was just easier for them to just suffer alone, do this alone. They were not used to somebody saying, hey, I'm there for you if you need something. I get that way sometimes too. Even though I feel like I'm a pretty open person, there are some situations in my life where I'm just like, I just feel like such shit about it. I don't want to talk to anyone. So I think everybody gets that way to a point, but I just feel like with this person, it might be that this is their coping strategy. They're not used to being able to talk to people about their problems. They may have been programmed from a very young age to just keep it together. They may have had parents that were just very selfish, or maybe they were just going through their own grieving. And so this particular child, when they were younger, they couldn't go to their parents, so they just had to suck it up. So there could be something here. This is just how your person copes. They feel like they don't deserve to be heard, or they just got to figure it out for themselves. We have the Lovers. Interesting. So what ultimately tore this connection apart? I feel like a choice. They could have chosen to turn towards you. They could have chosen to let you in. They could have chosen to be more vulnerable with you. But instead, I'm getting here that they chose with their head. They didn't choose with their heart. Their head told them, I got to deal with this. This is too much stress. I can't do these two things at once. I can't tell you. I can't let my guard down in this situation. I can't let you see me as weak. So the choice that they made was to just deal with something. They made a choice with their head, not their heart. That's the point. And for some of you guys, it could have been a choice between two people. Could have. I don't know. Just putting it out there. Yeah, 9 of Wands. Yeah, 9 of Wands means I'm the wounded warrior. I'm used to doing shit on my own. I have survived my entire life being this way. This is just who I am. Yeah. So your person's taken a stance here energetically with these messages. They tell everyone to back off. It wasn't just you. This is just who they are. They're used to doing things and suffering and dealing with things on their own. And if they don't have that space to do that, it's like they just feel like they can't be there for you. So I just feel like whatever is happening with this person in their life at that particular time, they couldn't handle the stress of maybe dealing with that and being a good version of themselves for you. So ultimately, they just maybe decided that the relationship is the thing that did have to go, or that they just couldn't put any more time and dedication and energy into it because life was just getting too hectic. Ooh, we have intimidated. Interesting. Your person may have been intimidated by maybe your strength. Maybe this is one of the reasons why they didn't want you to see them suffer. They didn't want you to see them as weak. They were afraid of you finding out that maybe they didn't have it as together as they portrayed. So it may be that their shame, their own shame, is really what destroyed this connection. They let it destroy it. 7 of Cups. Yeah, the 7 of Cups is someone... Okay, this is the message I'm getting here. First of all, it's very confusing. I feel like your person put out a lot of mixed signals. So at the end of the day, when either they ended things or it started to go kind of awry, you were confused because there was a part of this person that was being very loving towards you. But then on the flip side, they were not acting loving the next day. They were flipping switches back and forth, and you were just like, I just don't get it. The 7 of Cups is also somebody that may have not wanted to settle down, or they like to keep options. And the reason why is because this person is deeply insecure. They don't want anyone to feel like they're totally into them because of that intimidation energy. To me, this is like Queen of Wands. To me, the Queen of Wands is very confident. She's very magnetic. She's also very attractive. And so she's not short of suitors. Other people see her worth. Other people, are attracted to her. So if you don't hold on to her, you may lose her. And this person might have insecurities, as in they're not going to put themselves in a position to ever feel this way. So this might be one of the reasons that maybe they avoid true, deep intimacy. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I feel like you guys were headed on some sort of direction, and then they turned the wheel. They steered it away from you. And that's just what I'm seeing here. And then your connection, it ended. So you guys had this contract where you came together and you guys were maybe supposed to learn certain things. And instead of continuing on this course, your person changed course. Absolutely. They took matters into their own hands, and they went with other choices, or they went with something else, something less involved, something less intimidating to them, something more, or something that they were going to be more comfortable with. For whatever reason, they weren't comfortable 100% with you. And I don't feel like it was you. It was because of their own stuff. Page of Swords. Page of Swords is somebody who they're really in their head and they're really overanalyzing everything. So I do feel like this person got in their head, they got in their own way, and they may have even just abruptly cut communication with you, or they were just brutal with some of the stuff that they said to you, and it has something to do with them projecting onto you because they don't really feel good about themselves. This could be a person that even, I don't want to say this, but it could be somebody that actually tore you down. And now we have finger pointing. So yeah, it's just kind of like projecting something onto you, maybe saying, you know what, I don't like this about you. They're creating an exit strategy for themselves. They're trying to make this easier. And I feel like this was just a diversion, a distraction to get the heat off of them. That's what I'm getting here. Yeah, the Magician. Magician's kind of a trickster, so he can use his tools. He can use them to manipulate people. He can use them to kind of create that diversion. I feel like that's what this person did. They created a diversion. So that way you didn't really see what they were going through. You didn't see some flaw that they didn't want you to see. That was very important to this person to save face. You had the moon, very confusing energy, some lies, deception, hidden energy, a lot of things this person was hiding from you, you guys. And so it was just easier for them to divert your attention elsewhere. So if they pointed the finger in this direction and said, well, this is why I did this, or this is why this is happening. No, something was going on with them that I feel like they hid from you. They didn't want you to find something out. And so that's why you were so confused when this all ended. It was because they couldn't own up to something. They could not show you this weak, vulnerable side to themselves. So it really left you with just a lot of pieces that made no sense. And we have the Empress. Yeah, to me, at the end of the day, you guys, the Empress, that's you. It's like you're a catch. You were the total package. This was not about you. This very much was about this person just having some sort of internal conflict and issues that they felt like they just could not share with you. Why? Because they were intimidated, because they didn't want to appear weak to you. And you would think, wow, if you thought somebody is so great, why would you sabotage it? People do it all the time because of their own fear. Okay, people screw up good situations all the time, good opportunities all the time, because they are fearful that they cannot measure up. So it's just easier to go with something that is beneath them, or maybe not even what they want, or just something that doesn't intimidate them. It feels safe. Sometimes people will settle in that because it makes them feel better, because they don't have to feel triggered. They don't have to feel, much of anything. It's just blah. So I feel like this individual, they may have tossed you, like you guys were in this boat, they may have tossed you aside. I know that sounds really terrible, but they may have tossed you overboard to save themselves because they could not deal with some sort of feeling that they had. And I feel like this feeling was shame. It was embarrassment. It was something they couldn't deal with it. So if that sounds like your guys' story, maybe this is your deal. So now we're going to go into the extended reading. We're going to see, during the separation, have they missed you or thought about reconnecting with you? I mean, I definitely know that they definitely have that feeling, but we're going to go more into that. We're going to also see what experiences did this person have after walking away from you. So we're just going to kind of see what happened with their lives. We're going to also see what would your person confess to you now if they could, and what does your person plan on doing in the future about you and this connection. We know that it's in them to want to reconcile with you, but what exactly does that look like? And are they going to take steps, actual steps to make that happen in this lifetime? So if you guys would like to join me over on the extended, I'll put the link in the description box down below, as well as the top comment in the comment section. And thank you guys so much for choosing to be here. Make sure to give this video some love. If you guys enjoyed the video as well, all those little actions definitely help the channel out big time, and I really appreciate it. All right, you guys, you take care. Bye-bye.